Hello, and welcome to the Quiet and Strong podcast, especially for introverts. I'm your host, David Hall, and the creator of quietandstrong.com. This is a weekly podcast dedicated to understanding the strengths and needs of introverts. Introversion is not something to fix, but to be embraced. Normally, we'll air each episode on Mondays. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite platform. As an introvert, I've learned that some solitude for me is not a luxury, but a necessity. Again, not a luxury, but really something that's needed. The need for solitude in many of us, it's not selfish or strange, but in reality brings us to our best selves. As an introvert, we turn inwardly naturally, and a lot of good comes from this. We need to spend some time there in our inner world. As an introvert, not only do I enjoy a little solitude, but I find it helps me be more organized, productive, and at peace. We need quiet time to focus, relax, recharge, plan and prepare, think and dream. When do you have some time alone? I was thinking about this while I was working this past week. Had plenty of work to do, lots of meetings, lots of emails, some pressing emails, and then there's the group chat. Group chats or group texts can be such a great way to communicate quickly and with several people. But you find they can also be extremely disruptive when you're trying to focus on something. And these chats can go on forever sometimes with people responding one right after another. So I'm still working from home as I have been for this past year. When I was working in the office on a regular basis, sometimes I'd go in the office early for some quiet time, or I would stay late. No one calling, emailing, and no group chat. Occasionally, I would go in on a Saturday when the office was closed and got some good quiet time then. These strategies of getting up early, staying late, or occasionally going in on a weekend, it hasn't really worked this past year. I have barely gone into the office at all. And my quiet time at home can be very unpredictable with me, my wife, and 3 kids here. And my wife works for herself, and her schedule is never the same. I do get up early most mornings, and that mostly works, getting up before the rest of the family. But staying late at work definitely doesn't work, because that's probably the most chaotic time of the day around here. I did have a door at work, but now I'm in a high traffic area at home. I have been taking this working from home day by day, as no one could have predicted exactly when working from home was going to end. I still don't know. I think maybe I could have done a better job planning if I hadn't been taking it day by day. Maybe I could have found a quieter space with the door, done some rearranging somehow. I actually, this last week, I was thinking of maybe going into the office next week for a little quiet time, since it'll mostly be empty. We'll see. So, Laura Stack, in her book, What to Do When There's Too Much to Do, has some recommendations for those without a door. And of course, many will apply to those with a door as well. So here's what she has to say. Turn your workspace away from active areas like busy hallways. Again, right now, our home came with a nice built-in desk in the loft. And my wife and I both use this nice built-in desk. She always works here. But it's right in the hallway, so it is a very high traffic area. And maybe whether you're at home or at work, you may not have a lot of control over if you can turn yourself away. But if you can, that's definitely something to look at. Another piece of advice, wear noise canceling or noise attenuating earphones while you do the above. People think you're listening to something. It might be less likely to interrupt you. My wife definitely puts on the earphones to tune me out. Maybe I'm in a meeting, but she definitely does that. So that's something to think about. The next one, set up a signal to let people know you need to work uninterrupted. She says, for example, you might wear a red cap when you're deep into something and need to concentrate. So maybe you could put up a do not disturb sign. Maybe that will work for your colleagues or for your family. I definitely have had just to do a lot more communication and say, hey, I need some quiet during this time. But maybe an actual physical sign or something could be good. Along those same lines, she says, set up a symbolic barrier across your doorway, such as police tape or a cube door. Most cubicles that I've seen don't have doors, but maybe there's such a thing. Or you could, temporarily, when you need quiet, put some tape across. Also, hold off responding to emails. Close your email program to give yourself some time to focus. Definitely, emails can come in so frequently. And when you're looking for that quiet time, it can be very disruptive. And turn off your cell phone. And she says, don't just set it to vibrate. So here's a few strategies to get some quiet time at work when maybe you don't have a door, or maybe when you do. You may not be able to do all these, but maybe a couple of them could help you get some quiet at home or at work, or working at home, whatever the case may be. And you may need to do some convincing to get your coworkers or your family members to cooperate. Of course, we need quiet time for many other areas as an introvert besides being productive at work. I don't need or want to spend my day in quiet all day, but some quiet stretches here and there are very needed. Do you know how much time alone you need each day and for what purpose? How do you spend this time? Do those at home or at work support you in that time that you need? Not only do I find some solitude helpful in getting things done, but I need some quiet time for many reasons. For one, I need to recharge after activities or situations that drain me. Do you know what type of activities drain you? I do some of my best planning with some quiet. What plans do you have for your day, your week, or your year? As an introvert, preparation is key. What interactions, meetings, presentations are coming up? I know I need some quiet time to think about those kinds of things and get prepared. And I need time to think. What problems do you need to solve? What visions and dreams do you have for the future? I do my best with some alone time and quiet. And sometimes it's relaxing and fun to spend time alone. Sometimes we need that for no other reason. What activities do you enjoy? And remember, you know best what you like. The other day, I hadn't been out of the house in a couple days, and I just went for a drive. In this case, I didn't need quiet. I just needed to be alone, so it wasn't quiet. I turned up the radio loud, rolled down the windows. It was a nice day. It was amazing. It was just what I needed. So sometimes it's being alone, sometimes it's quiet, often it's both. I took Marcus Buckingham's assessment from his book Standout, and in the results, this particular paragraph stood out to me as it describes me well. Here's what it said. You're a thoughtful person, someone who needs time alone to mull and muse. Without this alone time, events pile up on you haphazardly, and your confusion starts to overwhelm you. So you look forward to time by yourself, early in the morning, late at night, long walks, and you use this time to get clear. As introverts, we think, and we think a lot. We need that time to ourselves to mull and muse. And I've learned quite a bit about managing my time and energy to be more efficient over the years. Still need to find that time to get clear, as he says, while balancing all the other responsibilities I have. I like how Marcus Buckingham laid out the consequences of not taking the time we need. Not only do we do our best work when we have some time here and there to think, but as introverts, if we don't, as it says, events pile up and confusion starts to overwhelm us. I've experienced being overwhelmed as I've had more to do than I have time for, or if I'm not getting enough time to myself. I need to take these consequences seriously if I want to be successful and happy. Not only must I figure out how to continually improve myself, but I also must make sure that those around me have the time they need to get clear. Not only is quiet essential, but without some quiet, I lose my peace. I may not be able to concentrate, and I may be a bit irritable. So, what do you need to do to get some time to yourself, some more quiet time? I now understand that some solitude for me isn't something that's nice to have, but it's a true need for most introverts. I need to help other people understand this need, but should not apologize for it. It's very natural for introverts to need quiet time, and by honoring this natural need, I'm able to perform better, feel better, and get more done each day, and be more present for other people. I know that positions and workplaces are going to vary, and some people will work in an office that recognizes the need for some quiet concentration. With balance, we can get some great things accomplished. The social aspect is very important. It's very important to be part of a work team and build relationships among those you work with. Also, I love my family and I want to spend time with them. We introverts really do like people and social interaction. But the quiet we find in solitude, it's important for concentration, analysis, deep thought. Our workplaces need to recognize the strength of each individual employee and provide balance between social and quiet time. What's your workplace like? As an introvert, what strategies are you using to achieve this balance? We need to continue to get the word out that there's a need for solitude in many of us that is not selfish or strange, but in reality brings us to our best self. Thanks so much for joining me. I look forward to further connecting with you. Reach out at quietandstrong.com or email me at david@quietandstrong.com. I'll add social media channels to the show notes. Please comment in the social media post related to this podcast. Send me topics or questions and we can address those on the show. So many great things about being an introvert, and we need those things to be understood. Let's keep the conversation going. Get to know your introverted strengths and needs, and be strong.